is clear that what he said is disqualifying. It's morally reprehensible. It runs counter to the Constitution, and it has consequences for our national security. And the problem is you still have a bunch of Republican candidates who are standing by their pledge to support him for President of the United States if, in fact, he's nominated by the Republican Party to do so.
All right, there's a lot there to digest, but I want to focus on his counter to the Constitution. Welcome back. I assume he means unconstitutional, as most of the media has claimed that it's unconstitutional, Trump's plan to prevent Muslims from coming into the country. Joining us now is Mark Krikorian. He's Executive Director of the Center for Immigration Studies. Mark, welcome. Great piece yesterday, which I referenced on the air yesterday at National Review. And you say, and I believe correctly, that Trump's plan is not unconstitutional. In fact, it's written into the law that the president can do just what Donald Trump wants to do.
Yeah, and now whether it's a good idea or not is a different question. I mean, I think it's much too broad what he's talking about, but the arguments against it need to be based on its being bad policy, not that it's unconstitutional. Congress can exclude any foreigner who wants to come here for any reason it wants. I mean, foreigners have no right to come to the United States, and we can use whatever criteria we want. Now, we might use stupid criteria, but that's on us. It's not a constitutional issue. Right. But, as you suggested, the president already has the power in the law to bar not just any individual person, but any class of persons, is what the law says.
Right. We're going to put that up. We're going to put that up as you explain it. I want to put up 8 U.S. Code 1182. And you'll see, folks, as Mark continues to explain, as we showed you yesterday, that whenever the president finds the entry of aliens or any class of aliens into the U.S. would be detrimental to the interests of the U.S., he could, and you read the rest of it, he could stop them from coming in, right?
Yeah, exactly. However he wants, for however long he wants. It's just, I mean, this is part of the president's power or his responsibility to protect the country. I mean, the presidency has grown and done all kinds of things it probably shouldn't be doing, but protecting the territory and the people of the United States is mainly vested in the presidency, and that's why he has that power. And so the question is not is it a good idea, not are we permitted to do it, but rather, is it a good idea or
right,
not?
Right, and that's fair. That's a fair debate. But when the media and Josh Earnest and others on the left gratuitously say it's unconstitutional, as I'm sure some on the right have said it too, that's not acceptable. And you know, I was reading today about how Jimmy Carter, and we mentioned this with Bill Kristol earlier, how Jimmy Carter, during the Iranian hostage crisis, he not only wanted all Iranian students to register and made them register that were in the country, but he stopped Iranians from entering the country during the Iranian hostage crisis. He declared this, and he did this. Did they call him Hitler? I don't think so.
Well, you're right. He had that authority, and that's the same authority the president has today, but it was a little bit different in that these were people from a particular state, a particular country. And so it was more of a conventional kind of conflict, whereas the conflict we're in now is against a non-state group, or many of them, Al-Qaeda as well as ISIS and others, that are kind of all over the place, don't really belong to any particular country. So it's similar, but it's not exactly the same thing.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
You know, an interesting item on that?
Yeah.
They didn't find, the INS was not able to tell Jimmy Carter how many Iranian students were in the United States until after the hostage crisis was over. It took them 1.5 years to actually figure it out.
Well, that's, you know, when Trump says the ban would be in effect until we figure out what's going on. And I had a conversation with a gentleman today, and you know, who outside of the station, and he's against what Trump said, the way he said it, and how long it might last. We were talking about, and you make a great point, and that is the difference. This isn't a state. However, it's unprecedented. What we're facing today is unprecedented because it's not like Nazis. It's not like even interning the Japanese who are here because they were from a particular country. It's not what Carter did with Iran or what Roosevelt did. It's unprecedented.
Right, and the interesting, I mean, the important point I think to make, to clarify what he said, or not clarify it, but what he said was much too broad, is that if we were to pursue this, the point is not to keep out anybody who identifies as a Muslim, because it's nobody's business if you pray 5 times a day or fast at Ramadan.
Right.
those kind of specifically religious elements of Islam are fully protected, and it's no one's business whether you do that or not. The problem is the political aspects of it, the non-religious part.
Right.
Because Islam is a religion, but it's a lot more. It's a military
absolutely.
philosophy and all of the rest of it.
Absolutely. Mark, we're gonna have to leave it there. Mark Krikorian, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Very interesting conversation. Folks, the Malzberg panel's next, but first, remember, make sure you tune into America Talks Live, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here with me on Newsmax TV. You can weigh in on the phone, and we'll be taking your video messages. All you have to do is log on to newsmaxusa.com. Let us know what's on your mind. Maybe we'll play it on the show. Look on your screen. That's how you participate.